Okay, I attempted to drill the hole in the center of this bucket. I just used a punch, and then I have one of those tapered drill bits. And I got the hole started. I mounted it in here, and apparently when I cast this, because I didn't have anything to line it up in the bottom and I had to keep it covered, I think this PVC eventually ended up started to tilt or fall in one direction. So I'm about 3/4 of an inch off of center at the bottom. So I ended up egging this hole out to make room to do it, but now once I put it in there, I can actually get it properly aligned, and I don't think it's going to be an issue because this concrete, when it's mixed properly, is so thick. I don't think it's going to creep underneath here. I don't think this is going to be a problem at all. I went ahead, and while it was down in there and I had measured center, I went and marked this hole. I am going to actually use the piece of stainless steel that I cut out of the cut out of the front side of this thing to make this hole, because it's already angled and tapered and it's about the perfect size. So we're going to mark this again, that way I can make sure I'm in the right spot. I got a good solid mark on this thing all the way around. And that's Dozer in the background. I don't know if you can hear him or see him. Okay, I'm going to try to cut this guy out now. See what we're left with. It's a 2.5 hole saw, 2.5 inch hole saw. Pretty damn good. Fits pretty tight. I don't think we're going to have to do much puttying. Now I think the next part's going to be the fun part. Where we got to cut this bucket and put that trim in there to extend it over the top. I do not like the way that's fitting. I should have cut that the same way I cut the barrel. You're never supposed to cut towards yourself. Control environment. You hopefully don't lose any fingers. I should probably be letting you see this, and I'm going to move the camera shortly. Pick this up and move it better. Okay. Well, the reason I keep trimming this is this is not lining up perfectly, and it's belly in the bucket on the front side. To rotate it to get the right fit inside this hole. So I'm just going to keep trimming this until I get the fit right. That took so much trimming that my camera actually shut off. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this from up there, but it's pretty fucking close. And I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna get a tape measure here and I'm gonna measure and make sure I've got this thing evenly spaced in here. Then I'm gonna drop some weights in here and then I'm gonna put some duct tape around. Oh, actually, that's not true. I'm already missing a step. So now that that's done, I gotta pull this thing apart and put the flashing on it, which was part of this whole entire thing. So there's the hole. It's pretty close. It's pretty sketchy, but now I'm going to trim this thing along here and make room for that, the flashing, so that I can prop this thing up and we'll be good. All right, Brian didn't show any of this on his video, and I'm only assuming that it's because this is the biggest pain in the ass portion of this. But we're going to see what happens. Plenty of memory card. So we're going to see what we can do here. Okay, here it is cut. I was able to do this on my bandsaw. We have a really large vertical bandsaw, and I was able to cut this thing in there. It couldn't fit through the throat, so I just ended up propping it up with one hand and feeding it into the blade and working the whole way around. It's pretty straight. It's not perfect. You can see a little bit on some of the spots here I got out of control, but I'm going to sand this up with some sandpaper and see if I can't make that stuff fit. And this is not the easiest. I'm not really good at organizing for these things, guys, but I will get better, I promise you. The more videos I make, obviously the better off I'm going to be at this. The next video that I post after I get finished with this series will be my granite Smithy 1320 lathe that I installed the Accurite DRO off of the Bridgeport on. And I'm in the process currently of upgrading it to 220 volts and 2 horsepower, so get a whole nother horsepower, well, almost a half a horsepower, and it's actually run off of a servo, so we get finer speed control. Gorilla tape. Myself a little bit more room to work with here. But you guys are in the war room. This is it, man. This is where all the magic happens, or the lack of magic. I already marked this, so it doesn't need to be any longer than this. So we'll just get rid of the rest. You know, I cannot stress enough at how sharp this stuff is, and it's a pain in the dick to deal with. So, about right. snaps and we're going to have this funky top to it, I'm going to end up probably tracing over that with a Sharpie and trimming that stuff off. That way it's just not there and I don't have to deal with it. Should have thought about that before I did this. I should have pulled myself off a couple pieces. This is just temporary to hold this thing on here until I can mark it and trim it. And I'll go back through with some other tape and I will how to do this. I'm going to pause this and get a straight edge. Don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it. When I trim this stuff, I want to make sure that I trim it. I'm going to have to trim it here, actually. I'm going to have to trim that first piece here. And then make another line, and I'll trim the second piece after I take it off. The only blessing is this stuff is super thin. Super thin. This is a flaw of mine, to never think far enough ahead. Bad. Almost, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I almost like this better just as that. I don't necessarily need that top support ring, I don't think. This is pretty, I don't know. Wouldn't it suck to get that far and then screw it all up because you're lazy? Sure would. But that actually works. So I will leave this like that. Just like that. I'll throw some tape around the bottom of this thing. Just like that. I don't think there's any need to go any further. I mean, the more I mess with it, the more likely it is I'll screw it up. I don't like that style of tape per se. Okay. Should have thought about that. Got some non-stick tape that I'm going to use to go around this thing that I love. Alright, non-stick, 2-inch non-stick 2-inch sticky. We'll see how this turns out. There's no getting around how time-consuming this project is. I think, to be honest with you guys, if I could go back and do this all over again, I would just spend a pile of money on a big, huge freaking roll of tail wool, and I would make this entire inside out of tail wool, just like Grant Thompson does. It is so quick, so easy, none of this BS. Although this thing will last forever. I'm assuming that it will. And the cure process for the castable refractory cement that I got is pretty ridiculous. So that'll be a really fun video to make for you guys. That'll be a day of my life wasted. It actually starts, you have to bake this thing at 230 degrees for 12 hours. And I plan on using our big industrial ovens for that. You guys obviously can't do that. But that's how I'm going to do it, because that'll make my life a little bit easier, and it's my party and I'll do it that way if I want to. Figure it out then. Okay. Done and done. Not the prettiest. Function over style all the time. Snug fit. Wow, is that snug? I'll take it. Alright, that's that.